right, by now you've heard about the battle for your attention waged by two of the world's richest people.
That's right. So Mark Zuckerberg has launched Threads as a rival to Twitter, now owned, of course, by Elon Musk. So what's the difference between the sites? What's at stake here?
For that, we turn to Dan Howley, the tech editor for Yahoo Finance. So Dan, thanks for being with us this morning.
How are you?
Can you hear us?
Oh, yes, I got you guys. Sorry, I fell out for a second. Can you
It's
just
okay.
repeat that?
It's all right. So Thread claims it now has 100 million users after just 5 days of mainstream use. So put that in some sort of perspective. Is that really as amazing as it sounds?
Yeah, I mean, look, the last app that really blew up this fast was ChatGPT, and it took 2 months to get to 100 million users. So, this happened in, I think, 5 days, less than a week. I mean, it really just goes to show you that the internet, or at least some users on the internet, were looking for some kind of Twitter alternative. So, you could also just kind of say, well, it's connected to Instagram. There's a few billion people on there. So it's easy to sign up, and it doesn't necessarily mean that people are looking for a Twitter alternative. But that's the way it's looking, actually.
Yeah, I mean, look, I logged on yesterday for the first time. And the similarities are there, right? Because it shows up just like a Twitter feed, certainly. But what would you say are the major differences between the two? By the way, it's super easy to join because I was hesitant to do it because I thought it was going to be difficult. I mean, it's so user-friendly.
Yeah, if you're on Instagram.
But yeah, if you're on Instagram. But what would you say the differences are?
Yeah, I think the big difference is when you look at these two apps is really the content moderation policy. You look at Threads, you look at Twitter, they're almost identical. It's wild. We still don't know what to call an individual post on Threads, a thread. That sounds kind of weird, but whatever. The big deal, though, is the content moderation. Elon Musk has said that he wants Twitter to be kind of a bastion of free speech. That includes negatives of free speech as well, whereas Meta, they have a more stricter content moderation policy. And so that'll probably carry over from Instagram to Threads. So you won't be able to get away with saying or posting images, videos that you might be able to on Twitter, on Threads. What does that mean for the companies themselves? Well, it probably makes it more attractive for Threads for advertisers. They want to make sure that their content is next to not objectionable posts from other users. Twitter doesn't seem to mind that much.
So why do you think that Zuckerberg is doing this now? Do you think it's because of all the criticism that Elon Musk is getting?
I think this is partly about the criticism that Elon Musk is getting. They don't have the best relationship. There was a post that Mark Zuckerberg had put up a few years back when then Facebook was trying to launch satellites using SpaceX, saying he was deeply disappointed that SpaceX rocket exploded and destroyed their satellites. There's been some kind of acrimonious posts back and forth between the two, not necessarily sniping at each other, but kind of calling each other out. I do think that this is a kind of play for Zuckerberg to take that space that Twitter currently occupies, although is losing its cachet among some advertisers and some users, frankly. And so he sees this as an opportunity to move in. They've said that this is a sane alternative to Twitter. So, I do think it's part ego contest, part business decision, although 100 million users, 5 days, really a big deal, not necessarily next to the 3 billion plus monthly active users that Meta has in general.
Yeah, but just in the short time I've been on it for about 24 hours, right? There's a difference between what you're seeing on Twitter now, which is a bunch of people that I don't follow that are popping up in the feed, and then there's Threads, which is strictly popping up of people that I follow, right, and what they have to say. Here's the question. People have such a base on Twitter. They've established it over decades. They have 20 to hundreds of millions of followers, right? How do you bring that to Threads? Just to time?
I think yeah, that's basically what it's going to take, right? And that's one of the big complaints that I think a lot of people have is, we built up this following on Twitter. By the way, my following is not fantastic on Twitter, but I don't use it outside of work hours. So, be that what it may. Instagram, though, is part of Threads, or Threads is an offshoot of Instagram. And so you'll be able to carry over your users from there. That means that, sure, you won't have that massive following that you may have on Twitter, or that huge collection of people that you follow, but you're not starting from scratch. You can carry over all of your followers and people that you follow from Instagram. So it's not as though this is kind of a brand new service that is empty when you sign up. It's going to be populated with plenty of people, and in anticipation of the launch, Meta went ahead and seeded this with a bunch of celebrities, athletes, things along those lines. You might notice when you sign up, Gordon Ramsay, Shakira, they're some of the big names that are kind of pushed towards you right away. So it's going to be some time for people to sign up, but I think for a lot of people, it's a new opportunity for a new social network, potentially a chance for them to reinvent themselves.
But there are so many options out there now.
Is it gonna last?
That's what
is
I'm
the
saying.
$1 million question.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different options. So anyway.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for it to last. I think it's all about the user engagement, really, and whether or not that stays there.
All right, Dan Howley, tech editor for Yahoo Finance. Thanks so much for being with us this morning. We'll see you on Threads.
Yeah, really. I mean, think about it. Think about all the things you had growing up that don't exist anymore, right? MySpace, for example, was the big thing at the time.
Yeah.
Kind of went by the wayside. What I noticed yesterday on Threads, sorry, now we got to go, is that people were posting on Twitter, on their Facebook, on their Instagram, and on Threads all the same thing. It's a lot of work.
Yeah. I'm sure there's going to
Exhausting.
but then now there's probably going to be an app that you post one thing and it'll put it on all of them for you.
Yeah, exactly.